I'm like, this is it? This is the bureau? Where's where's everybody else?
Good evening. We're two sisters who love horror movies, horror books, scary stories, and sleepless nights. Welcome to Midnight Meetings. Take it away, Soren.
Okay, yeah, we're changing it up a little bit because this is actually one of the topics that I introduced because I had seen this movie, 2 years ago? And my sister here did not like it at all. Neither did I, but I think she hates it more than I do. So, yeah, so we're switching it up today. Today we're going to be talking about Longlegs.
Spoiler alert. In this episode, we'll dive into major plot points in this movie or book. Watch or listen at your own risk.
You know, I was seeing when the movie was about to be released, I was seeing so much teasers about it, a lot of videos, like it was really hyped up. It was this Nicolas Cage movie. I don't know how you guys feel about Nicolas Cage, but I don't think I've ever seen him in a horror. Have you seen him in a horror film, lately?
Uh, I think the last time, it was a really, really long time ago. I'm not sure how much he's in horror stuff, but he was in, what was that called? The season of the witch or something with a witch, which honestly, that was another movie that I watched and we all walked out of the movie theater like, what a fucking waste of time. So I used to love, watching Nicolas Cage when I was younger, but then I don't know, I started, I guess, seeing the patterns of his movies and how they really weren't that good. So I was excited to watch this because it was something that I hadn't seen like Nicolas Cage in before. But
Mm.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I had to force myself to finish this movie.
Wow.
I was not
I
a fan.
I had actually watched it in the movie theaters when it was when it had been released in theaters. There was a lot of people. Like this was an anticipated movie, I could tell. I think that the teasers and the ads and stuff I really added to like I think the hype around it. It was heavily advertised. So I thought it was interesting when I saw the teasers and advertised. I was like, "Oh, this is interesting." Not every day I go to actual theaters to see a horror film. That's always fun. So I gave it a shot, and yeah, we're gonna talk about it.
Longlegs it came out in 2024. It is they like to call it a satanic panic horror. And sorry if you guys can hear the dogs barking. I don't know what it is about this time of night, but they just go crazy. It's like nonstop right now. This movie is a satanic panic horror film following an FBI agent, Lee Harker, and she gets assigned to this unsolved murder case, and it turns out that she has like personal ties with this case, and she's slowly realizing that like as the movie progresses. But yeah, I guess let's get into it. I did not write any notes for this movie, y'all, because I did not care enough. Didn't care.
So let's I think start off with I think I might dislike it a little bit less than my sister. 'Cause, I felt personally up until a certain point, I think it was doing a fair job at building the mystery behind the connection between the lead detective of this case, Lee Harker, and this deranged serial killer,
Man
like
that they call Longlegs.
yeah. I would have to say that when I was watching it, I didn't really think it was going to be a satanic. Like, the way they started it, I was thinking it wasn't gonna be too, like maybe a little supernatural, but not tied to, like, Satan or the devil. I really thought, like, when they first started it and they were trying to connect these serial murders, and they were trying to figure out, how could somebody cause a father to go kill his family, then kill himself? Like, what was the connection behind what was the connection between all of these murder suicides? I didn't think they were gonna go the route that they did, and I think that was my first big disappointment with this film. I wasn't expecting it to be connected to the devil or a possession type of film, which I don't know, I just felt like it could have been so much more interesting. If they had done maybe an occult film, maybe they're worshiping Satan, but there is no literal Satan, a literal
Yeah.
devil that's hiding in an object.
Mhm.
Um, so I guess that was my first big disappointment with this. But I honestly thought that it was a big misstep for them to do it, and for them to do it in a way where the devil's hiding in a doll. I don't know.
Like,
S-
because I already went into this movie, knowing what the premise was because we had talked about it before. Because, like, my sister and I, before we started this podcast, we loved talking to each other about, horror and scary movies. Like, if we happen to see something, like, we'll talk about it, be like, hey, I saw this, and, oh, it was super disappointing. It was really good at the beginning, and blah, blah, blah. And then, quite honestly, that's how this podcast started. Because I was like, you know what? Maybe we should just get together and, talk about it live and post it up for shits and giggles. So, like, I already kind of, I guess, knew the letdown of this movie,
Mm,
but it it I don't think your opinion of it really changed my mind because, like, I found it hard to continue watching the movie. Like, it was interesting in the beginning. Like, yeah, I can see why. All right, sorry guys, we had some technical difficulties, but let me see if I even remember what I was saying. Okay, so I will say I did like how it was filmed. It was very interesting how they filmed it. I liked how when were doing like the flashbacks, it was like a square screen instead of like the full screen.
mm.
And when they first introduced Longlegs, like, they kept filming but below his chin, I guess at child height, because we're
Mm,
seeing it through her eyes. And it's not
mm,
until he bends down to her face that you, like, fully see him. And then that scene scared me. I was like, whoa, what the fuck?
yeah.
Um, but that was like it wasn't as scary for me. I feel like there were definitely a couple scenes that I was like, okay. But for the most part, I don't know. I didn't really care for, I guess, the story itself. It would have been nice if it wasn't just like, he's putting a demonic presence in these dolls. Which, when you told me about the dolls, I was thinking, like, a little doll, not like a full life size of this child doll. When I saw them, I was like, what the fuck? These things are huge. He's creating all of these dolls and then putting some kind of silver orb in them, and the orb is what is housing this demonic presence that takes over
What's
the family.
housing, like, Satan himself?
Yeah.
It was just I think it was just a bad way to represent this this evil presence. I mean, think about it though. We're talking about this evil presence is being carried around in a doll by a random dude, and his accomplice is, spoiler alert, the mother of the detective.
Mhm.
So and it's like it's just a two-person operation for the devil.
It's just like it's a
It
it's
was
just
just
like it's a little, in a way, outrageous. There's a level of, huh?
The
And
story is
and then what
bad.
happens to the dolls afterwards? They never really explain that. Do the dolls get destroyed? Do they get recycled? What like what is the purpose of the doll once, the entire family is killed? Like what is the mom doing with them once it's over?
And what's
And
the
how was he doing this
purpose?
previously? Because he's a creepy ass looking fucking dude, okay? If he showed up at my house saying like, "Hey, I have this doll for you."
And also, um, it was just too contrived. Like, okay, so he looks for girls that have all the same birthdays as the detective. Every single victim, the the young girl has the same exact birthday, month and day. So, and then it just happens to turn out that the detective she's working with has a daughter who has a birthday on the same exact day as her. And I'm just like, really? It's just, it was so contrived. It just stopped making any sense. This is the big plot twist. This is a bad plot twist.
It wasn't a
Because
it
first of all, you
wasn't a
can
big
see, yeah, it was you could see, first of all, you could probably see it a mile away. Like, oh, he has a daughter. And this movie, I'll say its biggest fault is it does plot twists horribly. Because the big twist is it's her mother who's the accomplice. And the mother goes into a whole backstory spiel about exactly everything that she's done up until now. And then they have to explain. First of all, I already knew the mom was the accomplice before they even
You
did
did?
anything.
How?
I already knew. I'm like, the mom is creepy. The
You're
mom
just
is
like,
creepy,
"Yeah,
and
I have a feeling about her."
yeah, I already had a feeling. I don't know. It's just, she did a whole backstory explaining everything she's been doing up until now. I mean, I feel like you've had a lot of options to get away from whatever you were doing. She did it to protect her daughter.
Yeah, and it okay, so there's a scene where, Longlegs gets, captured by the FBI, right? And he's in custody. And then that's when the mom takes her daughter's doll, Lee Harper, the detective,
Mm.
and then shoots its head to destroy the orb that's in the doll's head. That's essentially whatever demonic presence, Satan, whatever you want to call it. And
Mm.
then that's what sets her daughter free. Couldn't you have done that in the first place? Like maybe he had her doll like um maybe he had her doll like holding it hostage so that the mother couldn't get to it. Like maybe that's how he had the leverage on her. As long as he has her doll, he can kind of do whatever he wants with her. That could have been the reason why she hasn't done anything against him up until this point, right?
Mm.
But they also don't really explain that very well. This is something that I came up like on my own later. It was just, why didn't she just do that before? And then also the beginning, the little girl looks out her window, right? And like they don't live in a neighborhood where all the houses are right next to each other. They have their own, I don't want to say they had like a full acre, but they had their own like, piece of land, right? You see there's a random car outside of your window, way off in the distance, and you, as a teenager, decide, yeah, let me go outside and check. And I'm like, are her parents not home? Why is she just going in the door? Like, not even going in there. She went outside to go to the car to look and be like, who is that over there? And then that's when she runs into Longlegs, and I guess that's when, her mother sees her through the window in the kitchen and sees this dude, and she's like, yo, what the heck? And her mom runs out. And I'm like, girl, why did you go outside to see who was there? Your mom was home. You could have been like, yo, mom, there's a strange car. There's somebody here. Like, you want to go check it? No, I'm gonna go check it to go see who's here. I was like, girl, what are you doing? Oh, these children in these movies really piss me off.
I guess we can get a little bit into the characters where they kind of fall apart for me. So let's talk about the detective. Um, First of all, she's not a good detective. That was the first thing. Like in the beginning of the movie, she was framed as like this, like she's like just this
Super
top-notch
smart,
person,
like
super smart.
psychic.
Yeah, psychic, like, she had these psychic abilities to and I'm assuming that her connection to the case has to do with the fact that she's actually connected to this case, like, it's something, personal. Um, I don't think they explain whether they're intentionally sending her signals or clues and stuff through,
Mhm.
into her mind or whatever, but she's just not yeah, she's not a good detective throughout this whole thing.
I feel like she's kinda just being influenced by this thing, and that's why I feel like all the answers that she did come up with is because she already had this, like, thing in her head,
Yeah, and even then,
right?
like, and to be honest, the fact that it's all happening pretty much right in her own house, under her own nose, under her own family house with her mom, she's a bad detective. Yeah, it's just bad.
It just yeah,
But the movie wants us to believe that she's smart, but she's not making very good decisions.
we're having more technical difficulties. Let me see. Okay. Soren was saying that this is probably a sign that we shouldn't even bother doing this movie. Okay, we're gonna fight through this one.
Okay, I don't even remember where I left off. Yeah, I was saying that she's just not a good protagonist or a detective. Everything is happening to her. She's not driving the story forward. All the information she gets is kind of being given to her. It's like she's being set up to be in this position, which, I mean, it's not the first time a character's been in that situation where they're sort of being pulled along through the story.
Yeah, it's like you're the chosen one of no fault of your own, no like actual like.
Yeah. If they hadn't framed her as some sort of, I don't know, top-notch detective in the beginning, but the story's just happening to her. Obviously, she's in a situation she didn't choose to be in, obviously. She's
Mhm.
connected to this case from childhood. But yeah, I don't know. And her detective is not
Her partner, right?
her partner, yeah, is
I
like
and it was like what I found interesting. It was like there was two of them. There was the black guy and then the was she Asian? I don't remember. But like the two that were introducing her to the case, and she was like,
huh.
are you sure she's ready? Because, clearly she's a newer detective. Like the first time we see her actually, she doesn't really solve a case. She kind of just they're looking for a murderer and she just has a gut feeling that he's in a house that they haven't checked yet.
Mm.
And turns out he's there. But obviously it's because she's basically being fed this information. All this extra stuff that she has is is of not her talent. It's because there's a doll out there that has a thing inside of it that is now like kind of controlling her mind in a way, or like giving her these inklings. And it was also like you could tell something was off with her, but you just didn't know what, because they don't like let on until later that like, she has a doll and that's why, she knows the thing that she knows. But like you could tell because she was very like she was very reserved and very just like awkward around other people, and later you're like, is that because of the doll? Now that her doll is destroyed, is she going to be a completely different person now? I don't know. The story was just really kind of out, like they didn't sell the story to me very well. Like I feel like this could have been so much better if they were able if the like if the storytelling was a little better, just lose the dolls. What was the point in the dolls? It could have just been
The dolls
it
threw
couldn't have
everything
just been that they
off.
did couldn't it just have been that like they did a ritual and that's how, they're able to do this versus there being like a physical item that has to be brought into the house. It was just like a whole extra layer of unnecessary steps, I feel. And and how is he finding these little girls that just so happen to have the same
Some kind of database,
birthday?
maybe.
And how long is it taking him to create these dolls that are basically a replica of these little girls in time for them to get it on their birthday for the nun to drop it off at the house? There were just like a lot of things in the plot that was just like, how is he doing this?
How is he? What are the logistics of this? How is he doing these things? How did he
And
find them in the first place? He just came to their house. The mother was there. I'm assuming he was looking for a nurse, or not a nurse, a nun. Or she wasn't even a nun. She was pretending to be a
she
nun.
was pretending to be a nun.
So
He
yeah,
was
like
she was
how
supposed
did
to
he
be a
find them?
victim, right? She was supposed to be a victim, and then because the mom got in the way and was just like, "Why are you talking to my daughter?" blah blah blah. Cuz like obviously she's a single mom, so she's like, "Yo, what are you doing out here?"
And instead of killing her, which I'm assuming he could have just done, he was tying her up in the house. I was
And
like,
was
"What?
just
Why
like,
you?"
since you stopped me, you could have been nice instead you wanted to fight me, so now I'm going to make you help me. Like I don't
Yeah. What are the mom's options here? Because she went along with this for over a decade. She became an accomplice to, I guess, protect her daughter, but in the I don't know, the motion of doing all of this, she became part of the cult. Like she bought into it. She went, "Oh, hail Satan!" But why? Does it ever really explain to you how she makes this big leap from wanting to protect her daughter to becoming part of the occult and sort of just kind of
Nope,
happily doing this?
not really. I think all I can guess is that because she'd been doing it for so long that it just started becoming second nature. It was just part of the everyday now. But like also, if a nun shows up at my door on my daughter's birthday saying, "Hey, you've won a prize from the church." What church? Which church? What church are
I
you
don't go to
from?
church.
I don't go to church.
What
How
is
did you get
this?
my First of all, how did y'all even how
Get
did you
my
know it was my
house
daughter's
information,
birthday? How do you know where I
address.
live? Yeah, excuse me, miss, wait right here. Honey, did you volunteer us for some kind of raffle or something for our daughter's birthday? No? Okay, cool. Yeah, you need to leave.
But I think this is the thing, like, this is also taking place in, like, the 70s, 80s, I believe, like, when they started this whole thing. I guess that was the point, like, who would suspect a nun to orchestrate something evil with a doll?
I mean, not that much, but when somebody's knocking on the door, you so much as look as Jehovah Witness, I ain't answering. You know? Like
It's a different time, yeah. It's a
that's
different
very true.
time.
This is a day and age where somebody knocks on the door, you look out the window. If I don't recognize you, you don't got some type of something, then I'm not home. So I'm
That's
sorry.
right.
Nobody's showing up at my house with a random present, big ass box present. You've won something from the church. When was the
And what
last time I
happens
paid a
if
tithe that I won something
wha
from the church?
and what happens if you just say, "No, thanks," and you close the door? What's the devil? See,
What
this is what I don't get, like, all of this is happening on the belief that all these people are going to take this thing and put it in their house. And I'm like, what if they're like, "No, I don't want it." What you just made this doll. Now, does the devil now need to wait and find a new victim? Like, what are we doing?
I mean,
Sorry, devil.
honestly, I wouldn't
Sorry,
be
Satan.
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if the mom just like breaks into the house that night and throws the box doll in there. Like I don't know, because apparently all they need to do is bring the doll into the house. These are all
And
extra steps that I'm like, these are all
yeah.
unnecessary.
And why dolls? See, this is and I think I did the next biggest point I have to make. I feel like whenever you choose a method, like your story is supposed to try and tell a message there's supposed to be some real reason as to why the characters are doing what they do, the setup is the way it is, and that sort of gets explained in the movie. It never explains to you what the doll part of it is, like, why dolls? If they had to sort of weaving into the story, like, why specifically this method of possession is what they decided to do, they don't have to be blatant about it, but it could make some sense. The method of possession, we're taking dolls and we're putting it in the house, and Satan's possessing the dolls, and he's slowly corrupting the family until they go insane, and then the father starts killing his family. Why in this particular method? What is the purpose of taking Satan to people's houses and having the whole family? There's
And
no
then
why. There's no why. That's my
no,
biggest thing.
and
Like anything that's happening in this film, there's no purpose. There's no reason.
also it happens really quickly. From the moment the doll steps into the house, the little girl's birthday party hasn't even really started yet. So what? It's been an hour, 2 hours, not even. The doll is already so powerful that it's taken over. One, the little girl is in a trance, and then you just start seeing the father getting like more and more aggressive towards the mother, and the mother is almost like fake being happy. She can see that her husband is being aggressive towards her, but she's still being all like, ha ha, the guests, and then, they go into the kitchen, and then that's when he kills her. That happened very quickly. Like, you never ever see any type of demonic possession movie where it happens so soon. Usually it's something that's like eating away at the family for months before an actual possession happens, So again, that was like another portion of it that was just like, huh? This all power, like this doll is that powerful? Is it because it's in the doll that it's that powerful? Like there was just way too many questions, way too many things that like didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it's just the possession side of it just didn't make sense. Why it was happening the way that it was happening didn't really make any sense. Which is why I got when it was revealed that that was what was going on, like the dolls and the this and the that. I was like, what? I was watching it like, why this choice? You had a pretty decent setup until if it was an occult leader that maybe had some supernatural powers that was causing people to do certain things, okay, I could see you make a movie out of that. The fact that the guy is orchestrating this is just being led on by Satan, like, to me, that just takes all of his power and interest away. It makes him not an interesting villain at all.
No, he's
Like,
essentially he's essentially like a puppet.
yeah,
You
he's like a
it's
henchman. He's a
yeah. It's like when
henchman.
you first get introduced to him, one, he's really fucking creepy. He's being weird, but the more you see him throughout the movie, and you were also saying this too, the more we see him throughout the movie, it kind of rips away all the mystery, and you're just like, you're just a crazy person. You're just a weird person who happens to be in a cult and who happens to be a Satanist. Like that's like every time you see him, you're like, like what was it when he was at the store and he was buying? I forgot what he was buying. And the little girl's like, is that it? He starts being he does the thing with the thing, and she's just like, Dad, the weird guy's here again. You're just like, this is the guy we gotta be scared of?
Yeah, Nicolas Cage, he didn't pull it off. If he was
I,
trying to be creepy, he just looked weird and dumb. I'm sorry, like, he was creepy when they were showing very little of him,
Mhm.
but once they actually had him on screen, like, acting and, like, walking around and interacting with the other characters, I was like, this guy is this is it's not scary, it's not creepy, it's just stupid.
Yeah,
It's stupid.
I'm telling you, I watched this when it was late and I was like, "Oh, let me just get through it." And like the entire sort I don't know how many times I looked at my phone to see what time it was and looked to see how much time was left in the movie to be like, "Ugh, okay, let me
I'm sorry,
finish it."
we had to do no, I wanted to do this one because it was so hyped up and there was so many people at this movie theater, and when I tell you I was watching the movie theater and people were like, "Huh?" and laughing. People were this is supposed to be a horror film. People were laughing and while Nicolas Cage was singing in the freaking when they were interrogating him and he was singing Happy Birthday, the whole movie theater cracked up hysterical. I'm like, I mean, you can have funny points in horror films, but not like that. Not having a whole now
I
you know you messed up. Now you
Yeah,
know.
and you know that that scene wasn't meant to be funny. I've seen scenes where it it could veer funny, but because it's so creepy and it's so unsettling, I can't even laugh at that because what the fuck? For that one, I was I don't know, and it's getting a second movie, and I'm like, "How?"
And then he had the opportunity to smash his face in quite a few times before people ran in and like, where was everybody?
They
Usually
didn't
there's
hear the
people
smashing? Like, I'm so
no, usually there's people like hearing
right outside.
things and like it's being videotaped. I'm pretty sure people can see what's going on the outside or something. Maybe it's the 90s. I don't know if that's how that worked.
Oh, yeah, hold on, anywho, yeah, no, they took their sweet time coming into the room
Yeah,
when he
I was
started
like,
smashing his face in. I was like and what was something else? Like, honest okay, for me, the scariest scenes in this movie was when they first introduced Nicolas Cage, when he, like, drops
uh,
his face down to the camera. The scene where she senses that there's somebody, I guess, outside of the house, and she goes out she sees, like, a shadow of a person, like, in the woods,
uh,
and then also the dolls, but only when they had okay, so when the dolls were sitting down or standing or whatever position they were in, and they had, like, that sheer, like, black fabric on top of them, and you could
uh.
see the glowing red eyes, and then they would pull it off and it'd be a normal doll. Like, those were the scariest scenes for me in the movie, and then everything else was kinda just like, "Mm."
The glowing red eyes to me was weird. I'm like, this looks kind of cheap now. This is that how we're representing possession now? Glowing red
Yeah.
eyes in a doll.
The
I've seen
doll.
possessed dolls. That's like Annabelle. They they have movies where it's much scarier. To me, I don't find possessed dolls very scary. Like to me, it's a weird trope that I mean, let it go. Let's move on. It's not scary. It's dumb.
Oh, no, I the scary dolls get me, but you have to sell the story right. Like, these dolls didn't do I was like, I guess, Annabelle, on the other hand. Honestly, I couldn't even tell you if I saw those movies.
Annabelle's actually scary. No, it
I can
actually is.
imagine,
It's
and I'm
actually
pretty sure I
scary.
have not
Like we've
watched
seen
it.
better doll possession movies. Like, what is this movie? It wants to be detective movie, but it wants to be a possession movie, but it wants to be uh I don't know what it wants to be.
So, apparently, the movie's supposed to be about, like, parents, like, overprotecting their kids, but in the end, not necessarily like, not really protecting them. Like, what they're doing to protect them actually puts them in danger or, like, shielding them from the world kind of thing, and I'm like, "I guess I could
It falls
kinda see
apart.
that."
It
It's just the
falls
story
that's the
itself.
theme. Yeah, that's the problem. There was no real like unifying theme that was strong enough to hold all the elements of this movie together. So it ended up trying to be too many things. And it didn't really properly explain why the things were happening the way they were happening. First a detective movie, then it became an occult, satanic movie. And that was, to me, that switch was very jarring. I
Mhm.
was I was like, so it's a cult movie. You're trying to find the person behind these murders and the person who was doing all these things, trying to do all these connections, the symbols. What do these symbols mean? And
And, like,
like,
she figured out what the symbols mean and like, nobody looked at it and was just like, "Girl, how?"
yeah,
"Oh,
like
I just stared
this
at it for too long."
exactly.
What?
Like at that point, like I'm pretty sure her partner starts to suspect her at some point in time. Of right?
Mhm.
If I and I'm like,
He does.
yeah,
They ask,
she's
I don't remember what they ask her, but they basically are like, "Are you sure?" Um, God, I can't remember for the life of me, but yes, he definitely is just like, "You're closer to this case than you think," and then I
yeah.
remember her mother gets brought up too, and I'm like, "How do y'all know that?" Like, oh, well,
Yeah. I don't know what they were going for with this, but nothing made any sense. The
and
character motivations didn't make any sense.
I remember sitting and watching the movie and been like, "Am I" okay, when you're, like, not getting something, right? And you're like, "Am I just being dumb? Am I just not am I just not comprehending? Am I, like, too tired to comprehend what's going on?" Because that was another thing I was thinking too. I was like, "Maybe I'm just tired." Because like, I didn't start watching it until, like, 12:30, was up until 2 in the fucking morning, and I'm like, "You know what? Maybe I'm just tired." But then I went to sleep and I woke up and I was like, "I'm not watching that movie again." I'm not sitting through that again. I refuse.
I think they tried to build an atmosphere. It's like style over substance for me, because the cinematography, great.
Mhm.
The filming, great.
The story?
Style style over substance, style over substance. It
It's
is what it is.
I have a love-hate relationship, I will say, with movies that, like, throw in scenes that don't really tie in with the movie, like, when they were showing, like, the images of the videos of, like, the snake slithering as, like, a sign. Sometimes that could be a hit or miss. Like, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and I'm not 100% sure if it actually worked in this movie, but that could just be because I didn't like the story. Like, maybe if I liked the story more, everything else would've come together a lot better, I feel. How they filmed it was great. It was just the story. And then what was it? The one survivor who was, like, in the psychiatric ward, she survived the killings or whatever, but then who hid the doll? Was the mom who hid the doll in the barn? Why did she hide the doll? What was the point
Yeah.
in hiding the doll? And then the daughter found it because they were following, like, all the exes or something, and it wasn't until that they found the doll that, like, the girl wakes up from her, like, mental, I guess, cloudiness. I'm not thinking of the word right now, but it was just like, "But why?"
What's in these dolls? Yeah, they never explained that, because it was something about the dolls also having some sort of um claim over the people that they've replicated. Like,
Mhm,
she the detective had her memories pretty much hidden, and it wasn't
mhm,
until the mom busted that doll up, she shot the doll,
mhm.
broke it, that she all of these memories came back or something like that.
But, like,
I
the survivor, they
guess?
found the doll. They didn't, destroy the doll, opened it up to see what was inside, and that's how they found the silver ball. What was it? The guy that was checking the doll was saying, like, "Yeah, I coulda swore it was, like, whispering my wife's name." And I'm like, "Okay, so then it doesn't matter who the doll belongs to? If the random guy who's checking the doll is now also hearing voices, it's kind of like, again, it kinda shows that the dolls aren't, like, it doesn't matter who the doll goes to because it's going to possess whoever is in the vicinity of the building that it went into, I guess.
So why do they make the doll in the image? What's the point in making the doll in the image of the girl that they're trying to possess? Or the
I mean, honestly,
if
it it's just to be a present for the girl, I'm assuming.
yeah. I mean, it could be a
It could be,
present, you know,
yeah, but, like, also
any
that's a lot
doll.
of but also that's a lot of work. Like, you made a replica of this person. It doesn't matter if this person gets this doll will do whatever it needs to do to whoever has it. So, what's the point in, like, going through so much trouble to make a replica of the person when you could've just made a regular fucking doll?
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else in this movie that I want to talk about. Who dropped off the note to her house, the detective? It was like, obviously, it wasn't her mom. It had to have been Longlegs, because she was on the phone with her mom.
Yeah. What is
What
their
was to stop
purpose
the
with
mom from
her?
burning her house down with Longlegs inside of it?
She had ample opportunity to kill this
She
mofo.
had a shotgun. She had a
She had
shotgun.
ample opportunity to kill this mofo. I don't really know why she didn't. Um,
And then after she shoots her daughter's doll, she still goes to continue with her mission
and kills the other detective.
and
The
kills the other
the
detective. Why? What for? So that there's nobody that knows? And that's the only thing, like, closing ties? Like, what?
and
Like,
what's their purpose with the detective Harp, whatever her name is, Harker, whatever. What's the purpose? Like, it seems like they were leading her up to for her to do something, or they wanted her to join their cult, basically. So that is why they were feeding her information about what, you know, they were trying to drop clues for her to eventually figure out what was going on instead of just telling her what was going on. Like, why lead her through this winding path of detective work where you're feeding her information
and
to uncover the
I remember when she was sitting in interviewing him when he was in custody,
her
and he makes a mention, "Oh, we thought it was so funny when you decided to become a detective or police." And then he never elaborates as to why he thought it was so funny, because he eventually thought that she was going to be working on these cases, or were they playing games with her this entire time? I'm just like, there were so many things that were there were there was no closure on anything. And even when she goes to the house to try to save her partner's family, she kills
her
everybody, including her mother, which, by the way,
her mother tried to well, she was gonna bust the doll open, and then her mother was gonna try and stop her from breaking the
from
doll, and then she killed her
and
mom,
then she
I
killed her
think.
mom.
Yeah.
And then she goes to shoot the doll in the head, runs out of bullets.
She lets the detective kill his wife. She kind of just
She
stands
lets
there
the
and wants
detective kill his wife
she just kinda stands there and lets him kill
while
her.
she's listening to the mother get stabbed in the kitchen.
Uh,
Father comes back out, kills the father, kills the mom, goes to shoot the doll in the head, doesn't have any bullets, leaves with the little girl, leaves the doll in the house.
that I
You
guess they
couldn't
wanted
find some other weapon to destroy this doll with?
I think the point was the doll was stopping her. I think it wasn't that she didn't have the bullets, it was like there was some sort of,
For
um
stopping.
yeah, there was something that was impeding her from any bullets from coming out, for destroying it. That's not clear. I'm
No,
assuming
it's
that
not clear because what? She
that's
shoots
what happened.
'cause how I forgot, I don't know this off the top of my head, but there's way more bullets than that in a gun.
And
And
she should
she's an
have should be able to
and she's a
reload.
ex
Yeah, yeah,
she's a detective. She's FBI. You telling me you ain't have another clip? And I know you have way more bullets than that in your gun. When did you shoot your gun previously? You telling me when an officer uses their weapon, they don't go back and put more bullets in their gun? You're just walking around with less bullets in your gun? Anywho, it's again unclear, but she also didn't need the gun. Like you could have tried to do something else to the doll. Like I'm so confused as to like what was stopping the mom from nothing stopped the mom from shooting her doll.
exactly.
So
Maybe Satan wasn't possessing that doll at that point in time. Maybe that's why.
it can
I
only
don't
do
know.
one doll at a time.
Yeah, I don't know. They made Satan really powerless in this. They made Satan like no, for real. They
He
made
was like,
him
"Look,
like
man, when you do this, okay, I can only possess one doll at a time."
yeah, like
This I don't and like apparently it got such good reviews and blah 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 that they're coming out with another movie and I'm like, "Who are these people?
it's
Who
horror
are
for
these people?"
duds. It's horror for dud. I'm sorry. It was hyped up. I'm telling you, there was a lot of people in that movie theater. I'm sure it did well. I'm sure people thought it was terrifying. You just got to turn your brain off, and it's the best horror film you've ever seen. It's just nothing
No, I
it just
couldn't.
started to completely fall apart. I'm like, you
Yeah.
had me in the beginning. I thought it was going to be something much more interesting than it ended up being. The whole story falls apart. Things stop making any sense at all. If you really think about it, things start making any sense at all. Um, I told, and I don't want to, I just want to remind you that I told you the movie was a dud. We added it to the list. I did let you know this movie was a dud. So I will not take any
But
responsibility.
but the thing is
And
like you never you okay, but that's the but you know what, that's the thing. Like we're doing this podcast and like even if we think a movie is a dud, we're still going to watch it because we're going to, then talk about it because I know there's one movie that I watched that I was like and I remember I told you not to watch it. And then I was like, you know what? No, you should watch it because I need somebody to talk shit with about this movie.
I didn't even watch this thing yet. You tell me
It's
something's
okay.
bad, I can't even go and watch it. I'm
No,
like,
you're
if
gonna
it's
have you
bad,
have to. You have to. It's gonna go on the list. I put out the list for season 1, but I don't even know if we're gonna follow that list right now. We're just gonna do what we feel like doing at this point. But
I
you
feel
need to
like
watch that movie.
even though it's a dud, honestly, I'm gonna see this through and I'm gonna watch the second one and we'll compare. I feel like even though it's a dud, like we can't just talk about things that are good. Like we gotta talk
We
about overhyped like it's something that's
oh
that hyped, that was that hyped. We have to talk about it, even though it's a dud. We have to. In the
is
spirit
it
of
is it
the
gonna oh
in the
god.
spirit of the podcast. In the spirit of the podcast. We gotta do it. Gotta
Damn
do
it. Oh, fine. I won't watch it until it's free.
it. Yeah, no way. Yeah, I'm not going. I'm not gonna go to the movie theater, sissy. We're gonna have to wait until that comes out.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of just like it's everybody has like there are actors where when you see that they're in a movie, you're like, "Yeah, I'm excited to see that movie because like it's going to be good." And then there are actors where you see them in a movie and you're like, "I don't know." And this one was definitely an I don't know. I don't know what it is with Nicolas Cage. I don't know if it's just the movies that he picks
He
or
produced. He
what.
co-produced this
He
one too.
did, and I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just I
It was just
can't.
it was silly. It was silly at certain points. I was like, this is actually funny now. This is not scary. Sorry. And another thing I'll point out is just a nitpick. All that weird heavy breathing she was doing when she was running around made me that was so funny. It was so, and the thing
When she
is,
was outside of the house, like, looking to find the person, and you're like, "You just stepped out of your house. Why are you so out of breath?"
yeah, I'm like, why are you breathing so? Maybe
It was
she's
like, but
scared. It's
also, like, was she having a panic attack? She was scared. You're an FBI agent. You went through training.
Yeah, she was
What are
just,
you so frightened of?
and they make the FBI look tiny. Like there's like just two, three. This looks like a pretty high profile case, but you only ever see a tiny bit of detectives. Like you only see like a handful of people in a room. I'm like, this is it? This is the bureau? Where's every where's everybody else?
It's
Until
a
like
small
the
town,
interrogation,
source.
until the interrogations happens. I'm like, there's three people in this department? Crazy.
Oh my.
Why you laugh? But seriously.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You got me there. Is this everybody?
Where is everyone? We're the consultants. There's
Oh
only
my
two people
god.
on
They were
this
like, no, no, no. They
case.
got a psychic chick. They don't need nobody else. Oh my god. I mean, I guess y'all know how we feel about it at this point. Uh, out of 10, I don't even know what to give
Did
it.
we wait, did we? Oh, we're doing rankings, aren't we? Did we do that?
Yeah,
Okay.
we did it for the last one. I 1 out
Two
of
out
10
of
for
10.
scare.
Oh, are we doing like scare versus like,
Scare versus also, like, how good was it?
okay, so scare factor, 1 out of 10. Not scary.
No.
There were certain parts that had potential, but no, it was not sustaining or long enough for
No,
it.
it fell flat too many times for, like, the movie itself to be
Yeah,
scary.
and I think they wanted that whole the face smashing thing to be like this, this so big shock, and I'm just like, this came out of nowhere. You could tell they wanted something really shocking, so they had that guy smash his head against the table and kill himself. But it was just, I was like, what are you guys doing?
And
It
also,
won.
why? Why?
Yeah.
Why kill yourself? Because you're in custody?
That they're trying to act like it was like this whole thing that was orchestrated for it to end up at this point in time, and it was all planned. I'm like, "Eh,
And then also, how are they gonna continue it if the guy's dead? Unless he's, like, not I don't know. Anyways,
maybe there's another person, like there's a new person. He's not the only person in the
who's
occult.
been doing it?
They never alluded to the fact that there was more than one person, so they're just gonna pull something out of their butt. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Um,
yeah, so 1 out of
okay,
10.
1 out of 10 for scare. Uh, worth watching.
No, no,
Like,
don't
if you
watch it.
like cinematography, then,
Cinnamon.
I mean, yeah, just, try not to pay attention to, like, the rest of it, I
Turn your
guess.
brain off.
Yeah,
Turn your brain off
don't
and just kind of like zone out, and maybe you'll enjoy it. Just
yeah,
don't think about it too
yeah,
much. That's when it starts to like.
yeah, that's when everything starts really falling apart. Um, yeah, I wouldn't add this to a list of things I would have somebody else watch.
Overall, overall story, I'll give the whole movie 2 out of 10 because they gave me some laughs. It wasn't completely unentertaining. I don't want to give it 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10 means like kill me
Absolute
now.
trash.
Yeah, kill me now. Like this is terrible. I still think it was bad, but it wasn't without entertainment. There were parts that entertained
Whether
me.
whether it was purposeful or not.
Yeah, I'll give it like 2 out of 10. I'll give it extra 1 point for that.
See? She
They
gave
had
you an
me
extra 1
cracking up.
point.
He
I
had me
didn't laugh at
cracking up
all.
when you didn't? No,
I
I
did
think it's
not
'cause
laugh at
everybody in the
all.
theater was laughing. So I
Maybe
was
I
like,
was also in the theater, but, like, I think I was
uh,
so over it that I couldn't even find the things funny. I was more like I wasn't laughing, I was more like,
yeah,
"What?"
I was shocked. It was not a laugh as like, "Oh my gosh, this is genuinely funny." It was laughing as like, "What the is happening? Like, what's going on?" I'm so confused now. I gotta laugh because I don't know what's happening right now.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for listening and watching. That was our review of, Longlegs, the first part. And, I really hope you enjoyed this, midnight meeting. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Oh